What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Iccy Show. I am about to get the special guest from Boston 617, Africanman Bornmusic, on here, and we're going to start this Iccy Show. If you didn't just tune in, I had Winter Walker on the Iccy Show. Check out that exclusive interview. We went in some deep conversations, and it was a great interview. So give the artist a second to come on here, and we're going to start this Iccy Show. If you want to be a guest on my Iccy Show, inbox your girl, Jackie Brown with 2 C's, I.E. Brown. I am booked until May, but I do have like 2 cancellations in in February and March. And just so you know, I am going to be focusing on my acting career, so that's why the other months are going to be a little off on the Iccy Show. It's only going to be on set in Texas when I'm filming with Mr. Sandman and Star. Go check her out. She's on Claws. Happy Woo Wednesday, everybody. Just so you know, it's Woo Wednesday. Go check out Miss BK and submit your music, all artists. So we're just giving the artists a second to get on here, and we will start this Iccy Show. Again, check out the interview I just did with Winter Walker. It was a great interview. R.I.P. Don Hazel. You know, I've been trying to wear his shirt as much as possible. Yes. What's going on, Miss BK? Happy Woo Wednesday! I actually just gave you a shout out for them to submit their music to you. So salute, Queen. Definitely. Make sure you tune into her radio station. It's lit. When I say lit, it's lit. Don't waste a minute on getting on that. Check out her. She was on the Iccy Show a couple weeks ago. Make sure you go check that out. Great interview too. Again, I just shared it about 2 hours ago. Where to submit your music on her radio station. So I'm just giving the artist a second to get on here, and we're going to start this Iccy Show. What's up, Queen Des? What's going on, everyone? What's going on? So again, don't waste to get on your Iccy Show if you want to interview. There's a couple of you I took you down. So inbox me for the reason why I took you down. And I'll give you the answer. My interviews are $50 to get on my Iccy Show. We are international. So that's one reason why we are. And this is interview number 429. This is interview 429. I done this in 3.5 years. That's a lot of interviews in 3.5 years. So, do the math. That's a lot. And that's not including my cooking show or my Bible studies. Just FYI, just so you guys know. So, while we're waiting for the artist to come on here, let me just give you a breakdown real quick. I just had Winter Walker on here. The 6th, I have Sunny from Ohio. On the 10th, I have Mula 3 times from New York at 6 p.m. On the 13th, Blue and Postman from South Carolina at 6 p.m. And on the 12th, I will be on DTF Radio in Brooklyn, New York at 5 p.m. So call in, you guys. Make sure you call in, give your girl a shout out, show support, definitely. And it's their 2-year anniversary, so we'll be celebrating that. We're getting turned up over there, so your girl from Boston is going to be in New York, so link with me if you want an exclusive interview. I have one scheduled, but I'm not posting it. It was just going to be a pop-up. Just so you guys know, I do that if I'm in your state. On the 14th, OMF from Brooklyn, New York at 4 p.m. On the 14th, Demetrius Stewart, 6 p.m. for Louisiana. 16th, Mark Slade from Brockton at 6 p.m. On the 20th, Boo Jones from Virginia at 6 p.m. On the 22nd, Trill Will from Florida. On the 26th, Star. Go check out Claws. Get updated with that actress. She is a Hollywood actress. She's been on the Iccy Show before. And she's going to be in the movie I'm in, Poison, and The Curse of the Sandman. So those, you're going to see a lot with me in the summertime with her. She's big. The 28th, Shorty from Loot Squad, 6 p.m. from St. Louis. So that's just January. I'm not going to get into the other months. I mean, my lists are crazy. When I say list, I've got 10 pages. And don't forget, next Tuesday for Bible studies, my co-host is Chris Johns from New Jersey. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you tune in on that. Yesterday I had RJ, and we're going to start this. Let me see. Here we go. What's going on? I see you now. I'm
just trying to put this.
Come a little more this way. There you go. Perfecto. What's going on? Welcome to. Yep, perfect. Welcome to the Iccy Showw, Africanman Bornmusic from Boston 617. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing. Hold on. That's me because I had to. Peace.
Peace. Happy Woo Wednesday.
Oh yeah. Woo Wednesday. I got the joint on.
I got the RIP for Sunny on me, but I would definitely put it on. But I just gave her a shout out. Make sure you link with that queen that's on here if you got music. She is connected. She's Vega Dawn's management actually. She goes by Miss MIZZBK. So link with her. She's on here. Brenda.
You got the link?
Yeah, it's on my page, and then she's on here in the comments. She's watching right now. So actually, Queen, can you put the information so he can go directly there, and anybody that's watching, that they can go to the link to submit their music? She does it on Wednesdays with Vega Dawn, so you'll see everything over there.
Okay, cool.
So peace, King. So welcome to the Iccy Showw. It's been a long time since I had you. How's it been this last year since I last had you on here?
Oh man, I just been working, man. Just been working on music, of course. Not just music, but podcasting. You know, in lives and podcasting. So I have 2 podcasts. A&B TV Live, which is strictly Facebook, and also I have a online podcast, which is A&B Radio Live. So I broadcast them at the same time. So if you look at the show yesterday, the one I did yesterday, that I did the radio and the audio at the same, like the visual at the same time. So that's what I'm going to at A&B. So if they want to hear it on Spotify, or if they want to hear it on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, they can hear the lives and the audio on Apple or Spotify or Deezer or whatever has a podcast.
All right, cool. Are you going to, can you have guests on there, or is it strictly just a podcast that you just talk?
I can have guests on there. The lives are easier to have guests on. So like if I want somebody to like kind of like how you're using Facebook, you know what I mean? Same type of deal. It will just have more channels as far as like, let's say I have more channels of broadcasting. So it won't be just Facebook. They'll see me on they'll at least hear it on anchor.fm. They'll hear it on Spotify. They'll hear it on Apple. They'll hear it on all of the major platforms for podcasting. So yeah, anybody can be interviewed. So that's why I set it up that way. So I can have people literally come through, or go on Facebook or go on Instagram, because I'm trying to set up the Instagram as well. So yeah, you can. The lives are easier. The other podcasts, I usually do 5 to 10 minutes. That's called Random Thoughts. I do those by season, and it's only like 5 to 10 minutes an episode. Those I don't do interviews on, because those are kind of based on a random thought, right? But the lives, I can do interviews on the lives. So I will be
international. We're not just using Facebook. I belong to DTF Radio, and they actually they submit it to all their platforms. They're on Roku. They're on there's a whole Ira Hot Radio, mad different things. So
yeah.
Once I share this out, then they do their job on all that. I just do this, and then they handle that. So
yeah, you do this, and they go and they take it and do their job and make it go international. That's pretty much where I'm trying to get to, is like that international level, because that's what this is about. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, that's awesome. I love that. The last time you were on here, I wasn't international and I wasn't across 50 states. So that's a plus. So it's good to see you again. I remember you performing. He is a great artist, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a show coming up, make sure you book him. He actually opened up for Solomon Child in Boston 2 years ago. And he did a great job. That was the first time I actually seen you perform. And you know, I actually liked it. I was the host, and you know, I went to the front because you were actually getting into, you interact with the audience. A lot of artists don't. It seems like they get I don't know, I don't know if they're scared to interact or what it is, but you actually did a really great performance. So have you done any shows since that last time I seen you perform?
I've done very few shows since the pandemic, but I've set up like online shows, like from here to, you know what I mean? I've done it from the house, and I'm still going to be doing that, setting it up from the house. But I'm also going to be booking shows and possibly doing a tour, because I got a new album coming out like later on in July. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I want to get that out there, but I want to be safe about it. Make sure that I, you know what I mean? You know, with everything going on with COVID, Omicron variant, and all this other stuff, I want to make sure that I get to the right places and make sure that everybody is safe, come to a show, be able to go home without any problems. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've done a couple of shows. I did some shows in New Hampshire. I did some shows in Boston. I did the Roxbury Unity Fest in July, just to keep myself, you know, active on the performance level. But I've been recording a lot of music. That's what I've been doing all last year, was recording a lot of music. Like I put out mixtapes, you know what I'm saying, and just kept the wheels going, you know what I mean?
Good. You didn't give up. You didn't stop. A lot of artists, unfortunately, you know, they stopped. And you know what's important is still do interviews. That's a main key. Artists is out there. A lot of you, nobody actually heard of you, and then now that you, like, you know, when there's a show that you're coming out, and you know, you have to stay consistent. Consistency is the very key in this game. You can't just come 1 year, stop for 2 years, go with another. That's not going to be build your supporters and your fan base. And that's important, because if you don't have your fan base or your supporters, you're not going to get your music sold when it's time. And I salute to you, because you stayed consistent and you still kept on going. And another thing is, I want to give you salute, Queen. I appreciate it. She actually put it on here. Make sure you guys submit your music on there. Wu-Tang Management right there. Salute, Queen. Much respect. And we got Christian in the building, another big artist. So salute. I wanted to let you know, from my heart, this is why I switched my shirt. Because you actually were the first ones to do on your show. You gave my condolences to Don Hazel, and you said you didn't meet him. And for you to do that, that's strong and that's powerful and that's real love. And I thank you, because I was very close to him, and I wanted to say that to you.
Yeah. My interaction with Don Hazel was once. I actually met Don Hazel in 2017 at Pretty Poison's show in Brockton. And that's when I first met Don Hazel. That's when I first met him. And, you know, he was, you know, he's a happy guy. Like I met him when he has a smile. You know what I'm saying? So that, like he was cool. You know what I'm saying? When I met him and shook his hand, and I didn't even know who he was. You know what I'm saying? And then I met him. I talked to him on Facebook Messenger. He reached out to me because I was promoting my album, of course, and I was promoting when I was going to do the videos, and he had got wind of it, and then he had hit me up on the Facebook Messenger, and we talked for like 10 minutes. That's my like only interaction with him. And what I saw was pretty much like I said on the live that I did in my car. I said, you know, he seems like a type of person that just brings people in to try to make everybody, you know, make it. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell just by meeting somebody that you can tell that this guy, that this person has this level of, you know, I want to bring everybody on. I want to make everybody stars. Everybody is a star, and and that's so. When he heard my music, he talked to me about a movie that he was doing that was centered around hip hop, and he wanted to pretty much make me a part of that when he was ready to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Whenever because I know he was doing a lot of things. And I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of things that he done. Him and Spike James. I know a lot of the movies. I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched
Did you
like
watch the Don Hazel, the gangster movie, the one I'm in?
I watched that one that you're in. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
I'm making sure. I'm making sure.
Yeah. I watched that. That's the first one I saw.
Oh, yeah, that was the first one that came out.
That was you and Victor. I was in that, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of great talent. Queen Des, she's on here. She's an actress. She was on there. There was a lot of us in there. I don't talk about that person you just named.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it like that. But
Yeah.
you actually met him at Solomon Child's show. I don't know if you were aware that was Sonny.
I wasn't aware. So because there was so many people at that show, like Buddha Monk was there, Jimmy Kang was there. Because after I perform, it's kind of like, like especially in Slades, and you trying to get to your chicken that you just bought. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
in the collard greens.
Yeah. So when I went there, when I performed, I was at this. Anytime I perform, I'm at this high level. So I'm like kind of like when people meet with me, it was like I'm shaking hands and taking pictures. Like I took a picture with Buddha Monk. I took a picture with Bonnie Stone. That was my first time seeing her live. I talked to Dustin Bones. You know what I'm saying? There was different people, and I already knew the BMG boys. We took a picture outside before we even did the show. I already knew them. Supreme. So there was so many different people that were there, and it was for me. It was like the level of like energy, because I'm a Wu-Tang fan anyway. So for me, it was like I had to come and show out for Wu. That's why I did the 2 joints that I did. I did the Liquid Swords remake for my mixtape, and I did the Mighty Healthy joint. And I did a whole mixtape for them that came out that same year later on. So it fit right for me when I heard about the show, and I you know what I mean?
Yes. Why didn't have you ever thought of linking with Vega Dawn or Jimmy King for management?
I have, probably some years ago, because of everything that was been going on, that I was traveling and doing a lot of different things. I haven't really got the chance to do that. You know what I'm saying?
You really should.
Yeah, I do have a lawyer, so she, and I can probably talk to her about it. And I think I have recently. I don't remember a lot. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
she, I think she's open for that type. You know what I mean? Because I have years ago, before I got her as a lawyer. So maybe that'll be something that'll come up in the near future. You know what I mean? Especially, I'm open for it. I'm an independent artist, so I'm open for that, because I like a lot of the artists that are on the management over there. Like Big Nate All Star is my favorite out of that camp. I hear a lot of his music. I actually reached out to him and told him, yo, just promote your stuff on my page. I just told him that, like, this was like last year. I told him, yo, just promote your stuff on my page. And, you don't even you even got to ask me to do it. Just promote it, because I like his music. So it's like, if I really like what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? I tell people to promote it. I'm not going to sit there and go in your inbox and be mad. Some people do that, on Facebook. They'll be like, yo, you promoting my stuff. You got to ask him. I don't do all of that. I don't own Facebook for me to say that to you. So if you want to promote, you know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. I'm a producer. I'm a marketer myself. I'm a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And me being a businessman, I understand promotion. So if you promote on my page, my fans will be your fans will be my fans, and everybody is happy at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. So yeah, I'm open to that, especially if they're interested in my music. I have a whole bunch you go on my website, my catalog is, is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So I got videos, I got everything. So, and I did it all myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of that, I'm open for that management. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we both are happy with the agreement. You know what I mean?
Facts, facts. Actually, Vegadon's management manager, she's on here. Miss BK, the one that I was telling you, she has her own radio station and stuff like that.
Yep.
So what I would suggest you doing is reaching out to Jimmy King, because he represents the Boston of Wu-Tang, and he's out of Worcester. And
Yep.
then if you don't hear anything back, link with her or Vegadon. But Vegadon is actually he's a lawyer now, so I know that Miss BK is actually his manager. So what I would recommend linking with her definitely, and submitting that actual that mixtape that you actually did for Wu-Tang, because they need to hear that. Because if it's their type of music and how you spit the music, if you did it, you know how Wu-Tang is with their music, and how they actually, you know, they kick knowledge, and they're really for the children. And that's, a lot of people don't understand that Wu-Tang is 1000% for the children. And you know, I would suggest that, because not every artist will submit music to the management. It will be just their type of music. But if you really made a mixtape for the Wu-Tang artists, you really need to do that. Don't wait another day on that. That's important, because a lot of people, Vegadon is doing music reviews right now on Instagram with Mook. Okay, all right. So that's Vegadon's manager right there that's talking right now. That's why I was reading it. So I would definitely, she's saying definitely send it in, and that's what she's saying. Definitely send it in. So
I can send it, because it's a free mixtape, so it's for promotional. It's not, you know, I don't get paid for that. I did that because I love Wu-Tang. Yeah, they it's 60 track mixtape, so I'm gonna send them.
60?
Yeah, 60. You know what I mean?
Wow, I never heard of a mixtape, just one artist. Do you have features on that, or is it just you?
I got future features, but 60 tracks. I mean, I probably got about 5 to 6 features. You know what I'm saying? And I did the red. You know, like, I'm a mega fan of Wu-Tang, so and I did it. The Mike's and Men joint. So when I watched the Mike's and Men joint, it kind of inspired me, because I was a Wu-Tang head. I used to know ODB's, and I actually did a cover to ODB's Brooklyn Zoo in the song, in the mixtape. So that was a total, for me, it was like, let me show because Wu-Tang raised me since I was 14. So, you know, and that way, you know, I'm aging myself, but I'm telling you, like, Wu-Tang raised me. So I was in middle school when they came out. So them, Nas, Biggie, Busta Rhymes, Rakim, and KRS-One, those are the ones that raised Africanman Born. As far as, because my father wasn't around at that age. When I was listening to all that hip hop, my mother was there, but my father was hip hop.
Me too.
So when it comes to, like, Wu-Tang, they was the ones that, like you said, they dropped a lot of knowledge. Everybody was on their own wave. You know, Raekwon and Ghost and Method. I was like a Method Man.
Me
pure.
too.
You know what I'm saying? Like so for me, I didn't do it for the sake of really getting noticed, but I wanted them to hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I still do. I still want them to hear it, because the mixtape is going to be 2 years old in November, and I'm actually doing a part 2. You know what I'm saying? So, because so many people wanted to be a part of it, and I'm like, all right, well, let's do this, because it's really for the love of. For me, hip hop is a representation of real hip hop is a representation of peace, love, unity, and having fun. So if you love this culture, right, you're gonna show respect to those that came before you. Like, that's a that I hold in a high esteem. Like, and not to say that others aren't. Like, you know, I'm an LL fan. I'm a Big Daddy Kane fan. You know, because I grew up in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally grew up in the golden era and the pioneers era, and now it's like, so I was lucky. I was lucky to be a little kid when Slick Rick came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was lucky to be a kid when Dougie Fresh and all of them came out. So, but I gravitated towards the 90s because I was a teen. You know what I'm saying? And Nas, Wu-Tang, Biggie, Pac, Summer J, you know what I'm saying? Pun, Fat Joe, all of these guys raised me to be the MC that I am, of course, with a lot of level of reading for me, because my mother was like, she was big on education. So I had to really take the street element and make it educational. You know, that's why when you hear my music, there's always some type of knowledge in there. I'm always directing certain things, and I barely talk negative about women. You know what I'm saying? I barely talk negative about my community. I try to raise the community, but I'm also a fighter. So I'm like, listen, I'm a fighter. I'm from the hood, so I have to. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the aggression comes from, me listening to people like Wu-Tang, listening to that group, and I'm always gonna be like respectful and always gonna remember what they did for me as far as hip hop. You know what I mean?
I actually someone from 36 Chambers took me down around the mural in New York, and I was like, I felt completed. I was on the same, I was at the, I don't know if you've seen the picture. I took a picture, the Wu-Tang street, and
Yeah,
I'm underneath it. I'm pointing it up. And shout out to Biggie's. He actually brought me out there, and I felt completed in this industry because I got to go exactly where the street was, the mural, and I met Wu-Tang members and management, but like that was, it felt like a completion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like after growing up on their music and then believing in everything and seeing their web series keep on going. And there's so much, like last year, I remember they did a lot when COVID first came out. I don't know if you remember that.
yeah,
Wu-Tang management and Wu-Tang members actually helped a lot last year in New York when they were really bad.
yeah.
And, they risked their life to do that. And, that means something. They're not selfish. Like a lot of artists, they are selfish. They only think about themselves. Where's that check? Where's that check? No, no, no. You need to help your community is, one thing. And two, help the children of the future. And Wu-Tang is strictly about that. They help the community. They help the children. They're for the children,
Yeah,
and that's very important in this
yeah,
industry, especially how when I seen you perform, you killed that. I actually didn't know, like I seen little clips of you and you watch your show, but when you performed, you actually were kicking knowledge in your music, and I was like, whoa, I never seen your music or heard it like that. And when I was right there hosting that show, and I seen you, and I could, you mean it, you're passionate about it. When you're rapping, you're into it, like really into it. And I respect you 1000%, especially being in Boston. I would really like you to submit that mixtape, and don't wait anymore on that. Don't let another day, it's not guaranteed tomorrow.
As long as I know where to send it to, I do it. I'll send the what you call it, the zip drive of the whole, of the whole mixtape. Because I have it right in my computer, so I can do it right after the interview. So for me, it's like, I just want the people that actually respect Wu, because that's like, for me, it's funny. I did 60 tracks, right? And I wasn't even like, I had a couple of people that when I told them it was going to be a 60-track mixtape, they was like, yo, you sure you don't want to shorten it? Like, when I was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for me, Wu-Tang did something that nobody has done. 9 members, 9 solo deals, 10 actually was Capadonna. And they got the solo deals. RZA made a classic, Protect Your Neck. And from there, he went and took this group. And regardless of the frictions that happened over the last almost 30 years now, they're still family. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is still the biggest. And for me, I was like, well, if Wu can do something that nobody's done before, I can do a dedication that nobody's done before. You know what I'm saying? So, and that just shows you the testament of them, because if it wasn't for them doing that, that Sid mixtape wouldn't exist. If they didn't come out with the catalogs that they came out, I wouldn't have this new thing dedicated to Wu-Tang mixtape. You see what I'm saying? So it was, for me, it's like, nobody really, like, I've seen people dedicate to Wu, and there's no knock on them. You know what I mean? I've seen people dedicate songs, but like a whole, like 4 albums worth of material dedicated to them, to me is like, that was my joy. Like, let me dedicate this to them. You know what I'm saying? And everybody who loves Wu-Tang is going to appreciate the fact that I use my bars. I could have used that on albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have used that on stuff that, for me, but what would it really get me if I didn't dedicate and give back to those that gave it to me? Because they gave me the game. You know what I'm saying? Just like, like Nas gave you the game. You know what I'm saying? And why not give it back to them in an appreciation and not ask for money? You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, you know, ain't like I didn't want no money. I just want you to see this mixtape. You know, I spent more money doing that mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Than I did my
Right.
own album. You know what I'm saying? So like, because I dropped I Am Hip Hop last year, right?
Yeah, I remember
Um,
that.
yeah, and I spent more money, you know what I'm saying, on the mixtape because you're not getting the residual for mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the residuals from the album. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't put the mixtape on Spotify and all that because I can't. I do it for the album. You know what I'm saying? And I get paid for the album. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't about money for me. It was about actually showing appreciation to them. And you know, anybody who appreciates it, I appreciate them. And I'll send it to anybody who wants it, especially if it's a Wu-Tang management. I want them to hear it because I really want them to send it to them and be like, yo, look what this dude did for y'all. Like, this is how much people love y'all. You know, and they know, like Ghost and all them, they know. They not. I've seen an interview with Ghostface, and he said, like, when he's seen a girl with a tattoo of Wu on their neck, she realized what they meant to the culture. You know what I'm saying? They really changed the culture of hip hop for the better. You know what I'm saying? You know, I appreciate them for what they've done for me, and that's why I'm like, yo, whatever, any piece of what, you know, any part of Wu Tang that I can like help promote, that's what I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm wearing this sweater, so
I know. I see that, and I was like, oh, happy Wednesday. I seen when you put it up, and then when I seen the management on here, I was like, oh, definitely. So actually, that's one of my new. She's saying, please send it in. Definitely, Queen. We got you. I got you. I'm gonna let you guys link together. I'm gonna make sure he has all information, and I got you, Queen, 1000%. And you know, it's crazy because I grew up on Wu-Tang, and I'm 43 years old. So
yeah,
I don't know how old you are, but it's like
42.
I went through a lot. Like I didn't have my father around, so I went through a lot of loneliness and lonely dark days, going through some heartache days, and I felt like Wu-Tang music actually like got me through those bad times, like with school and you know a lot of bad things, but they made my day happy. They made me go for the goal that I wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they were the ones pushing me, like, you know, oh, just get this A on this, or get this, just get past this test. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I really feel like it was their music. And DMX, RIP, DMX, his music too. You know, certain songs, and you know, if you're really into music and you thrive, really, you know, they're a mentor to us because
oh
you
yeah,
know they help me go through things and they help me go through. Imagine how many people across the world that they actually help. And that's
exactly.
why I was so happy when I went to New York last year, and Biggie's from 36 Chambers, who you have tour manager, he actually brought me to there, to the projects, to like where it originated, and I felt like home, and it was freezing cold out, and he's like, are you okay? My lips were blue, and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. This, you don't understand. Like, I am so grateful to have been able to be on their stepstones. Like, he was making calls to certain one of them. I'm like, you have it like that? He's like, yeah, that's family. And I love that. I really love that because back then they were family, and up to this day they're still family. It doesn't matter. They don't let things get in between them. They stay solid as a rock. And when,
Yeah,
you know, and I'm actually gonna Zoo Warrior, um Zulia Warriors. That's who he's a lieutenant actually for them. And I'm actually gonna be out there in New York with him next Wednesday. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna send pictures. I'm gonna tell him to link with you. You're gonna link with Brenda, Miss BK. I almost said her government because I'm watching her right now. She's throwing the hearts up. But
don't put
yeah,
it.
like I'm really happy to see that because I really want you. You know, that's important because you know, I think you're the very first person that actually made a mixtape with that many songs dedicated to the Wu-Tang. And people don't understand, you know, Wu-Tang has done a lot for, like, you know, Thanksgiving with the turkeys, helping the children, and they risked their own lives last year with the COVID, like I said. And you actually you made a mixtape dedicated to them. So I know that is important to them because you went out of your way, putting your money for the studio time, putting it together, And I really don't hesitate. Don't wait another day on that. You need to get that to them. I'm going to give you Miss BK's information. She put it down here for all the artists to submit your music for her radio station. But you really need to link with her, because I know she's managing a couple artists. She is looking for more artists to manage. And you got to, your gift is, you know, not everyone can rap like the Wu-Tang members. And you can. You really can, because when I seen you perform 2 years ago, you killed it. Like I was the host of the show, but I got off the stage and I went in front of you because I was like, "Who's this?" Like I mean, I say, "Hey, how you doing?" I support you on the your Facebook, but to like see you actually perform, you rock the stage. You really do, and your music, how you keep knowledge, like. Artists really need to do that, not this rah-rah killing and rah-rah this. Like, they really got to kick knowledge for the next generations, which is our children, which is our grandchildren. You know, that's important. Not about the bad stuff. We need to good stuff, you know. So salute to you.
We come from that era. So like, you know, I'm 42. So we come from that era. I was, you know, and of like teaching, you know what I'm saying? We come from the era of balance, because we had like music that wasn't always positive, but we had that positive stuff too. And Wu-Tang, even within their group, there wasn't always positive. It was like they had the negatives and it was balanced out. But that's the way of the universe. So for me, it's like, you know, coming up in that era, see, like coming up in, you know, 70, if you're born in like between 75 to 1990, right? You've seen certain things, you was raised a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And like when you listen to music, you listen to it differently each time you listen to it. So like for me, I'm a music fan. Like even now, I got 11 albums, 16 mixtapes, 4 compilations. I got all types of videos that I've done. I'm not bigger than the music though. You know what I'm saying? So the music is what made me. The music is what made this logo. The music is what made like just my whole presence. So when I go on stage, I make sure I do it. Even when I'm here, when I do a show here, I make sure I'm sweating by the time I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like for me, when I'm performing, I'm representing the ancestors. I'm representing those, like I'm representing the biggies that were here that's no longer here. I'm representing Pac. I'm representing MC Trouble. I'm representing Big Pun. You know what I'm saying? I'm representing Scott LaRock and all of these people, because it is a culture. And when it is a culture, you're looking at it like ODB, rest in peace. Like one of my favorite rappers of all time was ODB. That dude was funny as hell. And even when I watch like a lot of his stuff, I laugh like he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like, and even when I watch the show, the Hulu series, the dude that's playing ODB, that dude is ODB. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, he's literally pulling from that man's spirit. So for me, it's like when I listen to like music, I make sure that I'm pulling from a balanced place. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to actually enjoy my show. Like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm doing a show, I'm like, yo, you killed that. And that means that they enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? That means that I did something right, because I did it for them. You go on the stage for the people. You don't go on stage for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You go on the stage and you do the lives, you do it for the people. The people have to say you're hot. That's why when I put out a record, I never usually tell people like, yo, that new heat. I just tell them I got a new song. You let me know if it's heat. You know what I'm saying? Because I come from an era where you had to prove yourself. So back then, rappers didn't say, I got that new heat. Rappers said, yo, I got a new song. You know what I'm saying? And the radio and the people and the fans, they'll be like, yo, that joint's hot or it's not. You know what I'm saying? So I come from that prove yourself era. So I still have that within my blood at 42 years old. You know what I'm saying? When I go on a show, I want to make sure that people line up to ask me questions about what I'm talking about. I want to make sure that people line up to ask me about the pharaoh on my hat, not just to buy the hat. You know, you could buy the hat for whatever amount that I'm charging for, but it's about the knowledge of the hat. You know what I'm saying? It's the knowledge of the lyrics that I'm saying. It's like if somebody doesn't understand something that I'm saying about maybe the COVID, or maybe about the government, or maybe about this, that, and the third, I want you to come to me because you heard it in my lyrics. So now that shows me, oh, that person's a hip hop music fan, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to like a regular music fan that just listens to the beat and they rocking, and you know what I'm saying. No, if you sitting there watching and you're listening, you're seeing that there's a science of this going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Wu-Tang represents to me. I mean, You know, the science of hip hop, they've mastered it from RZA to Meth to Jizza to ODB to Ghost, all of them. Like, and even when you look at people like Biggie was actually a dope performer. I seen him live years ago when he, you know what I mean? Like when he first came out. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, you actually had to have a level. So when I go on there, I remind myself of the 90s. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You know, this is my show for the next 5 to 10 minutes or whatever time I got. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the passion. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's really deep. And that, I love that how you just explain that to people. And no, I feel you. I feel you 1000. Like I said, I was the host of that show and I stood in front of you. I don't know if you remember it because I know artists is blocked out, but I went in front because I was like, oh shit, he's kicking knowledge. Like, is people paying attention right now? Like, this artist is kicking knowledge. And I know Jimmy King, he actually was like he was into it. He was listening. And, you could see that the people that really grew up on hip hop and really actually, focus on it, they were the ones that were zoned into it. But I remember Sonny came up to me, rest in peace, Don Hazel. He actually, you know him? I said, no, but I got to get to know him because his music, you see it, he's the shit. He's the shit. And that's what Don Hazel said about you. And it was crazy, but maybe you went over to get the pictures with Capodanno after. I'm not too sure.
Picture with Budama.
Oh, Budama. I'm sorry. Because I know it was hectic and you went on towards the end of the night. Am I remembering?
It was in the middle. It was in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like I think BMG Boys, Bonnie Stone, and then I kind of went on after Bonnie, I think it was, or
yes.
A couple. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all great talent that night. Honestly, they really the atmosphere was awesome. The food was the bomb, and you killed it. And I want to know the outcome after you link with Miss BK. And keep me updated. Definitely, I hope it works out with you. You deserve it because your music means something. And I really keep on stressing it because I never go to the front unless you really killing the show. I will come to the front of the stage and I'll push my way to the front because I want to know that artist up and close and personal because he's kicking knowledge. And that's what's sad about that's what's sad about this generation now. They're about the drill music, and I feel like they need to be about acknowledgement. I told my son because my son's kind of like he's young, he's 11. So I started having him host with me on Bible studies on Tuesdays. But he, now he wants to learn about the music. And so I told him, I said, get the dictionary. And that's what when he was learning how to read, I made him read the dictionary from A to Z, every single page. And then I said, you can rhyme by the dictionary. And, it's crazy because they look at you like crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. You used to read it every day. Like I used to have him read like 5 pages each from the dictionary until it was done. And I said, now you'll start to get to the rhyming. And some words he comes out with, I'm like, oh, that came from you? He's like, yeah. And his father's in the industry too. So it's like you have both parents, but it's like meaningful, you know what I'm saying? And you're doing it. So I really wish you the best. And where can they find your merchandise? Because I see it behind you, I see it on you.
They can see it anywhere they see me, but I'm okay. So I'll tell you a couple of places. Africanmanborn.com is the website where you see everything. Anything that's African Man Born, you type in africanmanborn.com and it will link you to my music. It will link you to my clothing line. It will link you to my podcast, my 3 radio stations, which is something I got to mention. I have 3 online radio stations. Right now, I play my music, but I encourage people to hit me up on what they want me to play. The thing is, their music has to be on Spotify or Apple for me to play it. It has to be on Apple at least because it's generated by Apple. So if you have music on Apple Music, you can send me what you want to play and I'll make a show for those local underground artists anywhere they're at. They don't just have to be in New England. Of course, I'm pushing New England, but they can be anywhere as long as it's underground and as long as it's hot. I'll play it on my show and I'll create a whole underground show that I would promote. so people can play their stuff and have an actual rotation. I'll literally write it down because I work from home. This is my home office. So this is like the radio stations I play from home, and I play it through my iPad and my iPhone. So I'll choose which one station, and then I'll tell people what it is. So that's 3 radio stations, so they can hit me up on the inbox, or they can hit me up anywhere. Also, Pharaoh on Top Wears is where you'll see everything about the clothing, what's coming out. You know, sweaters, hats, slippers, sneakers, pants. I'm getting all that stuff done, and also more. So, AfricanmanBorn.com, and then Pharaoh on Top Wears. That's where you can see the merch. You can see everything. As far as the music, of course, AfricanmanBorn.com, you'll see all of my albums and mixtapes. Mixtapes free, albums do cost. You know what I'm saying? So anything that's a mixtape, you can download that joint for free. And they'll send, what it will do is, depending on your, if you have it on your phone, if it's an Apple phone, it's going to send you an email. If it's an Android, it can go directly to your phone. What's the other stuff? YouTube, AMB TV. As you see, if you see this right here, that's AMB TV. So that's pretty much my channel, which I do all of my lives and podcasts. I put, especially the Random Thoughts season 3. I'm putting all of that on. I put all that on there, and I have a playlist set for each season. So this year is season 3, and I'm gonna do season 3 and 4 this year. And pretty much it's kind of just me sitting here giving you random thoughts in a podcast on different subjects, and sometimes I have pictures and stuff like that. That's on youtube.com/AMBTV, capital letters. All right, and you can see my music videos on there too. So not just Facebook, but you can see it on YouTube. And that's also linked to my website, AfricanmanBorn.com. I try to make sure that everything kind of links to the same, you know what I mean? So Apple Music, of course, all you got to do on Apple Music, African Man Born, all my music, all of my album work, like everything that is original music is on there. Spotify, of course, African Man Born, all of my music is on there. Amazon, same thing. Pandora, I'm on all of those. Wow, there's so much. So
I know.
If you're physically in Boston or in Massachusetts, because I'm in Massachusetts, I usually go out and set up my business booth at Mass Ave T Station. Usually on the winter hours, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Depending on the weather. But I usually set up. Sometimes you see it like videos of a table that's set up with hats and incense and all that. That's me. You know what I'm saying? And then, but in the spring and summer and fall, I usually go out 4 days: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You'll see all types of stuff. I sell throwback jerseys to my clothing, to speakers, Bluetooth speakers. I have all different types of Bluetooth speakers. I got everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a straight up walking businessman. That's what I do. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can see me at Mass Ave. If you don't know what Mass Ave is, if you're in Boston, you should know what Mass Ave is. But
I was just gonna say, you gotta know what Mass Ave if you're in Boston.
Yeah, if you're from Boston, but if you're not from Boston, let's say you're from like Malden or something, all you got to do is drive on the 93, get off and exit 18. You'll end up on the Mass Ave connector, and it'll take you right up to Mass Ave T Station, which is the orange line, and you'll see a table there from at least 12 to 5 on certain weekdays. So you can also hit me up on the inbox to see when I'm there too. So I'm not opposed to people hitting me up if they have any questions or they want anything, if they want me to hold anything. And I will give people Cash App information and Venmo. I do take Cash App and Venmo, so you don't have to wait to pay. You can pay it for a product and I hold it. You know what I'm saying? And so like, that's pretty much how you can get to any product that I have. And I also got another podcast in the works, but once it gets solidified completely, then you'll know what that is. It's me collaborating with another fellow artist that I know. So I've been all about the collaboration from jump. You know what I'm saying? It's just once we get like going, sometimes you know how things are. You busy, and then once you get like connected, then you're able to go full throttle. You know what I mean? Like it's good to see what you're doing, because last year when we did the interview, like you said, you wasn't international. Now, 12 months later, that was literally 12 months later, I think. Yes. You're international. So you see it like you can see the fruits of your labor just kind of like this. You know what I'm saying? So now that's where we want to get everybody there. Everybody should be able to have at least an opportunity to get to that point. So like I'm open for all collaborations and business ideas and talks because I'm independent. I don't work for nobody. I work for myself. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because I believe in this business and this music and this journey so much that I can't work for somebody because I'm gonna get fired. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. I mean, I'm my own person. I'm my own boss, and I want to, you know, take it to the next level and then put other people on as I get older, get the youth on. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. That's awesome. That's definitely awesome. Do you want to give a shout out to that person you're going to be doing the collaborate with? Or
yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Gandhi Quiggs, my dude. Me and him have been
I
tight.
know him.
Yeah, Gandhi Quiggs. He's been me and him been tight for like 11 years. We competed against each other at the Dublin House years ago. That's where I met him when we was Pretty Poison did a show at the Dublin House in 2010. That's like 12 years ago, actually. You know what I'm saying? And that's really shout out to Pretty Poison for even doing those shows because that's how I actually built my street name again. Was doing those shows and people used to come through. And then there was people like Mark Maron, who did Branded Authentic and all of that. And he brought in some great names like Ed O.G. and he brought in X Clan and he brought in like different names. And then, you know, and also shout out to Kool Keith and D Loops for the Boston Talent Showcase. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so many different names, but like the Pretty Poison show, that's where I met Quiggs. So me and him are working on a podcast centered around hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So
He's good people, actually. So salute to him. He's a good person. So salute, definitely.
Boston Shine too. Like,
What about how about you don't get like one of, you know how they have the food trucks? How come you
yeah,
don't get one of those type of trucks and sell your merchandise out of there? So you could travel to different states and do like a tour on the road with your merchandise on there, and like you could pull up, like, you know how Faneuil Hall in Boston has, you know, people come out on Saturdays and Sundays. How about you doing that? Have you looked into something like that?
I have hold on for a second. I have I I actually talked to my mother about that. Me and my mother was conversating about that. Where there's a guy actually in Boston that does that. He has merchandise on a truck, like not necessarily a food truck,
Right.
but he has it on a truck, and he pretty much pushes product around the city. So yeah, I'm looking to get a truck so I can push, you know, and be able to travel. I have a van right now. I can do with the van, but it's harder to display on a minivan. So if you get like a truck and I design it, I can open it, close it, put it a certain way. Yeah,
Yes.
I have been looking into that.
Yeah, you should. I was actually gonna say that because you could actually make your own T-shirts on there with the presser. You can get like a traveling presser. So if they
Yep.
want to get it customized with their name on it, and you'll be on the road, and then you'll be on tour at the same time. You could go across the 50 states with your van. That's why I was saying the food truck, because how it opens and stuff. So that's what came to my mind. But I could actually see you actually having your own, and, you know, traveling state to state, and, you know, making custom T-shirts or custom merchandise with their names on it, having that little press on there. And I really could see you doing that, especially if you're on Mass Ave. Mass Ave is hard, and for you to be there with your table, salute to you, because I know you got to watch your merchandise being out there.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been out there off and on for 15 years, so a lot of the people know me out there already. So I mean, it's for me. Um, yeah, I'm definitely want to travel and do it as well as do Mass Ave. Just Mass Ave is like a stationary place where people can come, but like I would definitely take it on the road and go to different locations and just open up and just sell out the truck. You know what I'm saying? And that would pretty much be my overhead is the truck. You know, ain't making sure it's fixed and making sure that everything is you know how
Yeah.
it works. So
Yeah, definitely. I really hope to see you doing that. And I really hope you get on your tour. I just did my own tour this June to September. I did it, and it was awesome. Like, it feels amazing to do something of your own, And I went to like Detroit, I went to Ohio, I went to upstate New York, I went to New Jersey, I went to Philadelphia, and I did it like all by myself. And when they see me pull up in Detroit, they're like, "You're by yourself? You don't got security with you?" No, I don't need security. All I need to do is make one call. I know someone in each state. That's all that counts. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's not about that. You know, you want to make sure everyone is out there. Like, my job is the host, your job is the host, but you're an artist yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you don't push yourself as much as you should. I feel like, because you're a great artist, like an incredible artist. That's why I can't wait until we end this interview, because I want you to link with Miss BK so bad, because like I said, she's Wu-Tang Management, and you know, she's still on here. Salute to your queen. Again, happy Wu Wednesday to everybody. And it feels good that, you know, with your great talent, I feel like there's going to be a positive outcome, especially with your mixtape. I know she wants to hear that. I know, because we were just when I had her last month on my show, she was talking about managing some artists. So I know you guys are gonna link, and you guys are gonna set it off together. So I um I know. So,
I'm
but
open for it. I'm definitely open for it. I'm, you know, like I said, I've done everything myself. So at the same time, it's like you need somebody else to help with that type of, you know, there's a lot of parts of management that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know management. I just know how to manage me to a degree. You know what I'm saying? But you always need that person that can like get you that extra show, that can get you that connect to where the money is at. Like, as an artist, like I have my hands in many different things, but I think it's kind of just based on whatever talent that I have. But like, you know what I mean? For me, it's like you need that person that can help you with that business, because I'm good at selling things and I'm good at music. That's my lane. Like, I like to sell things and music, sell things, music, and the podcast. I enjoy doing the podcast because I kind of just say whatever I want on the podcast. But like, when it comes to the those things, I'm good at. I'm good at being on the field, letting my talent spread. You know what I mean? Show. But the people that behind me is what makes it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like I have like my lawyer. She kind of does all the business stuff that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that I'm in compliance with certain things, and making sure that things are legal, and making sure that I'm actually good. You know what I mean? So if I have a management, you know what I mean? That helps business, but it also makes it like where people can actually see, right? Because, you know, managers have a connection to things that, you know, that artists don't have by themselves. You know, I know it's easier now because of the internet, but like, when you have a manager, like, you always gonna need somebody that helps you with your career. You know what I'm saying? You
right.
always need that. Nobody's by themselves. I'm a solo artist, but you're never by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Never. You know, and I'm not really like, I have a team, like a team that I rap with, that we're actually putting things together, but that's gonna take some time. But I already have a catalog out. You know what I'm saying? And that would help them when they support this. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I'm an open book. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Well,
I'm
I
not.
feel positive. I feel real positive about you two linking up. Make sure you put, after we end this, put in your all your information on the bottom, like your store and everything, where you were given the information where they can go to get your hats, your music, all that. Make sure you put that in the comments,
Yeah.
and so they could check it out. And I just feel real positive about you and Miss BK linking together. Like I said, she's Vega Dawn's management, so I could see you guys working together. I really do. Like, when she hears your music, she's gonna be blown away. I'm telling you, she really is. Cause I was blown away. I wasn't expecting it when I seen you.
You know, a lot of people don't even know like that I do it. So it's like I said, I come from an era where I come from a humble era too. Like, my mother never let me get too big headed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I never really get big headed on anything that I do. I always feel like I can always get better and do things better, and you know what I'm saying. So for me, like, when people don't see me push certain things, I'm kind of like in my level head, because I used to battle rap. That's what I started off doing. And you know, when you battle rap, if you win a couple battles, you get big headed. You know what I'm saying? You win a couple battles, you win some money, boom, boom, boom. So after I stopped battle rapping, I was like, I gotta learn how to write songs, because really at that time, battle rapping wasn't an industry like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like you got to the songs, having songs and classic music and classic lyrics is something that is always going to stand the test of time. People can go back to a record that you did back in 2012 and be like, I remember when he did this song. You know what I'm saying? I remember when he did this. I remember when she did that. And that's where like my mindset was like, I want to make records that people can say, yo, what if this hit? Or this was like the dopest song back then. You know what I'm saying? Like when you heard Nas drop I gave you power. That's my favorite hip hop song of all time.
Yeah.
I gave you power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you hear songs like that, like even when you hear Woo, Method Man, one of the dopest hip hop songs ever. You know what I'm saying? And when you hear these songs, that's what I was like, yo, I want to drop music that people can say, like, yo, I remember when he did that song. I remember when he was writing that joint. Or I remember, you know what I'm saying? If they know me, yo, I remember when he was writing that joint. He was in the room and he was eating chicken or something, and he was doing that like something like knowing like I remember like I want people to be like, yo, I remember what I was doing when I first heard that, or what that song did for me. I want people to say that. So when it's all said and done, I'm like, yo, I made an impact on the world on some level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, that's important. That's how I feel like. That's why I started going harder with my podcast. I was getting so much love. And it was on demand. Like I only started doing. I used to only do it on Saturdays. Then I couldn't, get everybody in, so I had to do it every day. Today I just did one. I did Winter Walker before you. Another artist from Boston. Well, she's a manager from Boston. But it's crazy because now I'm doing some interviews sometimes 3 times a day. And now I'm like with my Bible studies on Tuesday. Then I got my cooking show tomorrow. So it's like these are things of passion. Like I love to do. Like I feel fulfilled. I don't need to be married. I don't need that. But I feel fulfilled with my podcast. I fulfilled, doing the cooking is my passion. That's why I started doing my catering.
Yeah.
And, it feels good when people are like, oh, gee, you're going to make your food? I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna make my food. And it feels great when they want to say, oh, I need a platter of this or a platter of that. I love it. I got you covered. I just did a red carpet in New York and Jamaica Queens in September. I catered it. And it felt so amazing. Like when people, I sat back and I was co-host with DJ Juski, and I'm watching people eat the food and see the reaction because I want the truth. If it's something, you can't please everyone being a cook. That's for one thing. But to see everyone, they're like, who made this food? Who made that? And I'm like, I did. I'm like, is it bad? They're like, hell no, I need some more of this. I need a plate to go. You should have seen those stacks of plates. There was like on the side. And then everyone's like, which plate is mine? Because they didn't put the names. They didn't think people were going to put their names. I mean, platters on the side. But it's amazing feeling. So my craft is cooking. Yours is being an artist and, being a host. And I see you. I could see you. I really see, like, if you can get the money to get a one of those cooking trucks, I could see you being on the tour, doing your music and selling your merchandise. I really see that. I really do. And that's you might it's a great talent to have. And I let me know how it goes. I need to have you back on here another year, every year. But if you do your tour, call me ahead of time so I can put you on
Yeah.
to a couple of people, what states you go to.
Because you might be universal. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
You might be, interviewing the, people from other, galaxies. You know what I mean? Look how fast you moved. So it's like that's the joy of like putting in that work. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, like I put in that work. You got to put in that work in order to get things going. You know what I'm saying? And that's out. If you ain't putting in the work, nobody's gonna notice what you're doing. Even on a level like I do so many things and people notice it. And that's a blessing to see that people notice it. You know what I'm saying? If they and if they notice it and they say, yo, they like it, then you're on the right path. So now you just need that extra help, that extra, what I mean? Like you said, you got people that do the thing for you so it can go international, but you haven't changed what you do. You still do what you do. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
and
right.
that's pretty much where I'm at. It's like I need people to help me. I mean, and because for me, it's like everybody wants to do what they're passionate about. Everybody, the cooking, passion for you. You know what I'm saying? The podcast, passion. You know what I'm saying? But the music is passion. Like the fact that you was at a show that I did, right? And you know, being that a lot of people in this era don't really listen to knowledge, right? You came up to the front for it. You know what I'm saying? Like most people, and it's funny because you and many people that came up to the show came to the front when I performed. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, that for me, it doesn't matter if it's 2 people or 200 people that come up. If you're coming to see me on any level, that's what the joy is when it comes to hip hop. It's like I want to see the people look at my music and be like, yo, like you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely like the work that you're putting in is it shows, and you deserve every bit of you know, and really, you know, you're doing the same thing that Don Hazel was doing. The spirit of Don Hazel was running through you because, well, what's happening is he put in that type of work. When I talk to different people and they said the way he moved, I'm sitting there like, that sounds like just like what Don Hazel doing. So you see, he built a character in many different artists. Like I said, I only dealt with him twice. I only talked to him, like, only seen him once and then seen him, talk to him once, right? And so that's pretty much 2 encounters, right? And I can tell just by, you know, those 2 encounters and then the love that everybody had for him. You know what I'm saying? The love that like people had. Like I seen a video with the girl that plays Bad Girl. She
Oh,
was
Lala.
Lala. I seen her and she was upset, but I could see where that's coming from. You know what I'm saying? I seen your video. You know what I'm saying? Where you know you're talking about it, and I can see where that's coming from. There's a love that he put out, right? That when you know his untimely transition, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like you're gonna miss what he did for the world, and not just what he gave you, but what he did for the world. He added something to the world that can't be replaced. You know what I'm saying? Even I don't have to know him to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see it. I'm like, yo, this dude had that because you see me on the video. I was just saying, listen, like I can see that people really love this dude because he put people on, but he also did it out of love. So when love conquers any type of negativity or hate, you know what I'm saying? People can hate you all day, but that one person that loves you will get you through all of that crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where he shines, and he's gonna forever shine through the hearts of us. And that's why I said we can't let his memory pass on. You know what I'm saying? His physical passed on, but his spirit carries on. You know, and it carries on through the rest of everybody, and even me, because I don't know, but I understand what he was doing. So me understanding, I will carry on that same mission. For you and others, like Lala and others that dealt with him personally, that was his brother, that was your brother. You know what I'm saying? That was your father. That was your, you know, now y'all are the ones that's carrying on what he's doing, and somebody's gonna do that for you one day. One day when we transition, somebody's gonna say the same thing about you, you know, and the same thing about her, and the same thing for everybody he touched. So he did his part, and
Right,
you know,
right.
rising power to Don Hazel. I mean, like I didn't know him like that, but I respect what he's done for everyone that touched him, that he touched. You know what I mean?
I love it. Like I really now I feel like I gotta go harder. Like now I'm like, okay, so I planned on my acting career. I'm in 2 big huge movies in June. I don't know if you've seen the clips on my page yet. One's called Poison. I'm the main actress out of that one, and then The Curse of Mr. Sandman. And you know, yeah, and it's crazy because I've been in my original was Don Hazel, the Gangster movie. It's out on YouTube. Go check it out, guys. It's a free movie. It's about 50 minutes long. And, you know, it was all filmed in Boston, 617. And, you know, I'm thankful to be a part of that because I never went to school for acting. And after that movie, my acting career is bounced to like 100 right now. Like I have over 78 pages I got to remember for one of the scripts, and I think it's like 120 on the other one.
Yeah.
But it's like I've been in a web series that's coming out this summer called Get Fly with 2 Ys. It's about the children in the future and what they deal with on a daily basis. So that was filmed in Boston. So what I do when I traveled to different states, I always rep Boston. Boston, I was born in Cambridge, but Boston is the capital, and that's what I'm going to rep. When I went to Springfield every Wednesday on Wu-Tang DJ Coalition, every Wednesday in Springfield, on the top 10 music videos, I did that for Boston. You know, it's not for me. I do, because I feel like, you know, I'm the push for a lot of artists, but I'm also, you know, repping Boston. You know, people say Boston has the curse and all that, but we have so much great talent in Boston, and people don't realize that because they're not really pushing themselves. They think they can stop for a couple of years and then start. You're consistent, and you're going to be known out there because of your great talent and how you keep knowledge with your rap. And that's important, because it really, that's really important. You really got to understand that, because the generation now is about that trap music. They're about, you know, killing. I understand about the negative. Sometimes there's negative with positive, but positive is always going to be better than the negative. I understand you have to do it once in a while. I'm not kicking rocks on that. You know, sometimes, you know, I got to play a bad person with a gun in the movie, but it's not what I want to do. My passion right now, and Sonny, he was in the gospel a lot, and I've been posting a lot of videos of him when he's singing in the church with his father. His father's a gospel singer, and his father's sitting in the chair and he's behind him singing. And I shared that on my page because that touched my heart, because Sonny has been around for many, many years. He was only 61 years old when he died, but I feel like he should have got an award. When I got that award in New York in the summer, I called him crying. And I said, I want to cross my name off, Sonny, and put your name, because you deserve it. You do a lot for Boston. And no one recognized him. And that's what kills me so much, because this man does a lot for Boston. He did a lot. He got the first Boston gangster movie filmed in Boston, and then all in the movie theaters, Randolph movie theater. Nobody ever did that. This man did that. And, you know, I feel like certain people that get an award, you know, they really don't put the foot. Like Sonny put the work. Like he really was like, all right, this is what we're doing. We're filming the state. It took 9 months to film the movie I was in, Don Hayes' gangster movie. 9 months. You know how long that is to film a movie? But then when he did his other movies, he was fast, because he, you know, he had the consistency. He had the right actors, the right actresses in it. And we didn't go to school for it. That's what the greatest thing is. He made a difference for Boston. He put a lot of different sets together that didn't get along with each other, and he made that. And that's what breaks my heart so much. And when I was on Winter Walker's interview, we're gonna look into getting a mural done of Sonny's face on it. We're gonna try that would be good.
We did, like in Roxbury. He's from Roxbury, right?
Yeah, we don't care. We just want it for Boston. If we can get it in Dorchester or Roxbury or wherever we can get it on a building. You know how they have those murals in Boston that are painted on? We have some artists that have that talent to do it. But we want to get one of Sonny. You know, that would be awesome, since he didn't get an award, but that would be amazing. And I know he would be. Yes.
I mean, if you can get it somewhere where everybody can be at, and all the artists and everybody that he's touched, you know what I'm saying, can be there. I think that'll be dope. I mean, they do it in New York. You know what I'm saying? They do it in Cali. I mean, when Nipsey passed, they had a mural for him. They had a mural for Prodigy. They had a mural for Biggie. So it's only right to make a mural for someone who's touched Boston the way he's touched them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally 1000%. I'm totally with it, and I'm gonna you know, I hope anyone that's watching that can make it happen, make it happen. And, you know, I got to look into it too, because, you know, he deserved it. He really did. Really did it. I'm still shocked that he's gone. But, yeah, let them know your social media. Let them know give any shout out you want to. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to bring up?
Pretty much, you know, Random Thoughts, which is my podcast, 5 to 10 minutes. You can get that on YouTube. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm gonna say it again. YouTube/AMBTV, all capital letters. That is gonna be dropping February and March. About 27 episodes, 2 episodes a week. They're already pre-recorded. I'm filming. I'm at episode 15 filming, but I'm gonna finish all the episodes and I'm gonna release them, so I pick a release date and all that. The King album is coming out in July, So you'll hear about a lot of promotion from that. I already have a song out called The Purpose of Hip Hop. I don't know if I've been promoting that a lot, but The Purpose of Hip Hop is a single from that album that's coming out in July. And pretty much it is pretty much everything we talked about now, the purpose of hip hop, and I talk about the history. You know what I'm saying? I go from the history and what hip hop was about and what hip hop has been in the industry as far as what has happened to it. I mean, as far as our minds and how we misinterpret what hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get back to what hip hop is, which is peace, love, unity, having fun. Social media contact, so Facebook, Africanman Bornmusic, which is this Facebook that you're seeing right now. Social media, you can get Instagram, African_man_born. Twitter is twitter.com/AMB. it's Africanman Born. I think it's Africanman Born. I think I changed it. Then TikTok. I don't use TikTok much, but I'm on it. But it's Africanman Bornmusic on TikTok. I think how they do it is like at Africanman Bornmusic. What else? So much.
I'm on TikTok. You know? I'm gonna stop following you.
Huh? You on TikTok?
I'm on TikTok. Yeah. I'm gonna stop following you.
I post a lot of crazy stuff. Like I post a lot of funny stuff on there because that's kind of like people on TikTok are just like, they out there. You know what I'm saying? Like so I kind of take from there, and I do a lot of my videos based on stuff I see on TikTok. So a lot of random thoughts videos. If it's something that has a good subject to talk about, I take it from TikTok. A lot of times, if somebody says something that's quotable or something that's good, I can just expound on it from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can follow me on TikTok. But of course, the website, AfricanmanBorn.com, which will link you to everything that you want to know about. If you want to know about like my music, my clothing line, my podcast, just my journey, Africanman Born will take you to everything. If you want to just touch some certain things like Spotify, Apple, go into Google, type in Africanman Born, and it will link you to everything. So you can actually touch everything that you want to touch. You know what I mean?
All right, cool. Go follow this man. He's doing some big moves for Boston 617. He is a great artist. He gets the Iccy Showw approval. I'm telling you, he's kicking knowledge in his music. And if you followed him last year 2 years ago when this virus came around, he was talking a lot of acknowledgement. I was watching your lives. A couple of them, you made me scared. Like what you were saying was so fast. So I appreciate you. Definitely keep on going. Don't let nobody stop you. Keep that acknowledgement going. I don't know if you have children. They will appreciate it because that's a legacy you're leaving behind. And when they get to understand about where hip hop started, what hip hop it is now, your acknowledgement means a lot. You might not see it, but it really does.
I appreciate it. And, I appreciate all of those who listen and all of those who take that knowledge and spread it. That's what it's about, taking the knowledge, spreading it,
Facts. And this is interview 429 interviews I've done in 3.5 years. So I'm blessed and humbled to everyone that has gotten on my show, and I'm blessed this is your second time on the Iccy Showw and within a year. And I plan to have you anytime you need to get on my show. Just inbox Jackie. I need to get an interview real quick to promote something. I got you covered because I respect the people that really out there, that's really trying to get their information across. You know what I'm saying? In acknowledgement, and you got that 1000%. Really, I'm really saying that from my heart. Is there any shout outs you would like to give to anybody?
Shout out to everybody that's on here right now, that's listening and hearing my story. I appreciate shout out to my wife, of course. Also the more to my wife, she's also an artist as well. Yeah, she's an artist as well. Shout out to my team TA, the affiliates. We got some things working, later on down the line. Shout out to Genius, Montez the Genius. He is actually like my producer. He produced all the tracks on I Am Hip Hop that you heard last year, and he produces most of my music. Yeah, so if you know Sandro Castro, he does some music for him too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know who. I met him. I actually used to follow him. He used to perform at Progressions in Brockton years ago.
Yeah, that was like, wow. That was like 2007, 2008 time.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. 2008 is when I started doing this music industry. I was a manager of Massive Hustle Records, and I had my whole team. And then from different record labels, I was a manager. And then now I just manage one artist, Colombian Dragon. He makes beats, because it's hard being a manager and having your own thing going, because there's too many different personalities. They're not on the same page as you. So you need to, if
yeah.
you're going to have that team, you got to make sure everyone's a go-getter like you are, if you really want to be out there. And they got to be willing to travel out of Massachusetts. They got to be willing to do all that.
Oh,
And I hope you get your tour next year. I really do. I'm going to pray for you to get that. And I'm going to pray for you to get that truck. I really, in my heart, really can see you. Especially if you're on Mass Ave. If you don't know Mass Ave, people, it's like one of the busiest streets in Boston.
mhm.
And they have hospitals on that street. I mean, it's chaotic sometimes on that street. But let me tell you, for him to be on there for as long as he's doing it, he's a go-getter. He really
Yeah,
is.
I was born there, so I was born in Boston Medical. You know, so
Okay. Right
yeah,
across the street. And there.
so that means like so for me, it's like it's kind of like taking it back home, but you know, it's a hustle, and you got to be out there and do your thing. Like you got to hustle. Like that's what it is. Anytime you hit a street, you got to know, like, listen, this is a hustle. This is a more. It's a business, but it's a hustle to run your business, so you can be able to come back out and put more things out for the people. You know?
That's awesome. Definitely. Do you have face masks yet?
Not with the logo on it. That's gonna come probably in March. You know?
Okay,
I'm looking.
that would be dope to get that. Definitely, especially in this industry, this
Yeah.
era what we're going through right now, because I see these face masks not going away for a long time,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
unfortunately, but if you're gonna wear a face mask, you wear it with style. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I got a lot of them. I'm looking at them right now. I'm like, I got so many. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, dang, how many you have? I'm like, I don't know. I just love wearing them. Like, I feel safe. Like, I feel like that's my safety net. And sometimes I'll wear two when I'm at work, because I
Yeah.
work with the public a lot, and it's not mandatory for them to wear it, the customers to wear it. And,
Yeah.
we got some rude customers that common sense. When we grew up, you sneeze in your arm. You don't sneeze on someone's face. You don't cough in someone's face. You cough in your arm right here to protect it.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. And I feel like this generation is just no respect. Like, common things we grew up. If my grandmother ever seen that, someone coughing in your face or sneezing, oh
Oh,
my gosh, my grandmother would have a nervous breakdown on that. Like,
oh,
for real.
no
It's a
joke.
respect thing.
Yeah, it's a respect thing, and it's also a hygienic thing. You just
Yes.
you know want to be able to be clean. And they're saying like that's the main thing about it anyway. When you're talking about like protecting yourself from COVID and protecting yourself from colds and diseases. I haven't got sick since 2016. Knock on wood, right?
Amen.
and and there's certain things that I do. I make sure that I'm clean. So I make sure I wash my hands. I got sanitizer in my bag. So it's for me. It's like just take the proper precautions and be safe, especially with this variant that be spreading around. Like and all those other things. Just be safe so you don't have to be scared. You know what I'm saying? Like because a lot of times we're scared because we don't know what to do, but what you need to do is what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's this. It's common knowledge, but a lot of, like you said, this generation doesn't use that. They have it, but they don't use it, and it's a
Right.
shame. Up to us and those that know better to just kind of keep reiterating, like,
Yes.
yo, just be safe. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And that's important, And a thing is too, you don't want to spread the germs. So if you're sick, stay home.
Oh yeah,
I understand we need to get a check. I understand that. But think about how many people you contaminate, and you could be killing someone right next to you when you're sick at work. And you don't
exactly.
even realize that. My job, you want to hear something? Because I know you'll be kicking knowledge. I'm going to tell you something real quick. My
Yeah.
job was 85% positive with the virus. And this was the week of Thanksgiving, like
Wow.
that whole week. It started on a Monday, right? And the
Yeah.
15% that wasn't positive didn't get vaccinated. And those people never got sick. The people that got sick was the ones that got vaccinated. And my deli manager, he was on the life support for 2 weeks and he was vaccinated. So
Wow.
figure those apples out. That, like,
Yeah.
it's they keep saying get vaccinated, vaccinated. Everyone has their own opinion, but it makes. I dealt with it at my job, seeing the people that was vaccinated, and they got really sick, and the
Yeah.
people that I'm not vaccinated, and
Yeah.
I don't plan to, at least for a couple of years, because I feel like all these new diseases that are popping up. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but all these new diseases that are popping up, they came out of nowhere, and it's
Yeah.
like, so that vaccination that you're giving could be in the people that get the vaccination, you're positive for the Omicron. I don't know how to say it.
Omicron. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're positive. So that makes, I'm like, I wonder if by getting vaccinated, you're the one that brought those diseases, the new diseases, the two new Delta and the other one now.
I say this, and I'll be very brief because you know me, I can go on this. I say this: the vaccine, look it or not, I always tell people to be careful taking a vaccine because one, you're putting something alien in your body. Two, when you're putting something alien in your body, what happens is it changes your DNA to whatever it is, and depending on your health status. You know what I'm saying? So, like for instance, if you have pre-existing conditions or something that is contagious in your system, it can change whatever you're giving out to a disease. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
what can happen is you can get people that are contagious, easily contagious. You know what I'm saying? So not everybody is contagious. I'm pretty sure I've been exposed around a lot of people with COVID, but I don't.
Oh yeah.
I sick. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. That doesn't mean that the next person won't get sick. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people like, a person that takes the vaccine has to be very careful based on their health. You might not be a doctor. I might not be a doctor, but the one thing I do is I know my body. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what you have to do is make your decision based on your body. You know what I'm saying? And what you know about your body. I don't plan on getting vaccinated either, but I don't get vaccinated for anything. You know what I'm saying? I just go natural. You know what I'm saying? And really, you know, a lot of people they kind of frown upon people that are not vaccinated, but it's
Yeah.
like you shouldn't frown upon people that are not vaccinated because we made a decision not to trust something wholeheartedly. You can't trust things wholeheartedly coming from an industry that didn't really treat people right in the first place. This is the thing that I get deep on. I don't tell people that it's not a real disease. I tell people this is a real disease. I just don't like the way they're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't they're dealing with it. Like when I did the song Plandemic last year, right? I was pretty much saying how Dr. Fauci and all of them, you got to investigate these guys. You know what I'm saying? You got to investigate even your local politicians and your communities that are pushing vaccines because I really don't think that people are thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like a person that's not vaccinated to me is thinking a little bit more. Not to say
Yes.
that are vaccinated or not. I just think people that are vaccinating themselves wanted to get vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But for people that are vaccinated that push, well, how come you're not vaccinated? That I don't think they have the right to do that because we have our reasons for not. You know what I'm saying? And it should be
Right.
like your reason for vaccinating. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So, but like you said, the news I think pushes a certain thing, and then
Yes.
we talk to people like you that said, yo, like the people that are vaccinated are going to the hospital, not the people that are not vaccinated, right? And then my wife's mother said the same thing to her the other day. She's a nurse. She's a nurse practitioner, and she said and she lives in California. You know what I'm saying? Like her mother, and she said that the news is lying about who is going to the hospitals. They're saying
Yep.
that the unvaccinated are going to the hospitals, but it's not the unvaccinated. These people are actually vaccinated and they're going to getting hospitalized because now it makes me question, okay, is the vaccine breaking down your system where you can easily be sick? These are
Right.
things that unvaccinated people think about. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like when we eat food, some
Yep.
of us change our diets because we don't know what it's doing to our body, but we know what fruits and vegetables do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's 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 all it is. It's just we're just thinking about certain things differently. You know what I mean? And you know
Right.
it's crazy. So I just tell people to be safe. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. You know what's crazy? I'm just getting my battery. Apologize, everyone. I just don't want this to shut off. But you know what's crazy is um just a couple months ago, I got in a fight with my hematologist. If you don't know what a hematologist, let me just plug this in real quick. I'm sorry, guys. If you don't know what a hematologist is, it's a blood doctor. And my body produces blood clots. So my doctor came in with the vaccine, ready to give it to me. I said, "What the hell's that?" She said, "Oh, you're gonna get the corona vaccination." I said, "Heck no." I said, "No way." I said, "My cousin's a real professional doctor. She really is." I said, "She told me not to get it. I'm listening to family that is not going to lie to me about not getting it." And I said, and she goes, "Well, you're a high risk." I said, "I understand I'm a high risk. That makes me even more want to wait a couple of years to even think about getting it, because first of all, they don't have cures for all the cancers out there. They don't have a cure for sickle cell. They don't have a cure for MS. So these are all major diseases that people suffer every day from, that are very sick on some of them. And you're telling me you could come up with a vaccination like this that came out of nowhere, this disease, and you can all of a sudden put millions of dollars and get people, to get that certified that it will take away, or it won't let you get it, or decrease your elements. But one thing is, I said this from the beginning. When I seen the first card of the vaccination card, I said, "Why the frig is there 8 signature spots front and back when the shot is only a one-time shot?" And everyone's looking at me like crazy, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get it." They said, "Oh, probably because the way they print it." I said, "Hell no. This is a scam. This is going to be like, you got to keep on going with it." And what?
Yeah.
First, then you got to get a booster. Then you had it every 6 months. Now you can get it again, the booster. How many boosters you need to get on a friggin' shot?
Now you remember when one of my lives I talked about that, and I said
Yeah.
that, and this is before they even had the vaccination. Donald Trump was still in office, and I said this is something that they're gonna keep going with. They're gonna keep saying, "All right, we have the vaccine. Now we're gonna do another vaccine and another one, and then they're gonna try to easily put it into policy, and then now put it into law." You know what I'm saying? So their whole goal is to make it law so they can put that vaccine in you for a specific reason of control when you look at certain things. So it doesn't make sense how it came about. It doesn't make sense how they're dealing with it, right? And it doesn't make sense how they came up with a vaccine under the 5 to 8 year standard that most doctors know about. Most doctors know, right, that it takes about 5 to 8 years to create a vaccine for one strain. You have about 3 to 4 strains of COVID, and you got a vaccine, and you're making a policy saying that these people have to work at these jobs, have to get the vaccine, which doesn't protect you. So therefore, the vaccine that they're using isn't working on what they're putting out. So therefore, it tells me that it was an agenda in the first place. And this is what I'm saying to people, is that there's a new slavery that's they're trying to implement. You know what I mean? And has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with color. I mean, I'm a black man in America. You know what I'm saying? And I can see that it's bigger than the color of my skin. It's more of the control of your mind, which is why when you look at these things, and I'll say it on here because I said it on a couple of songs. I said COVID is actually an acronym. You know what I'm saying? It's an acronym for COVID 19. COVID. When you say COVID, you're saying Certificate of Vaccination Identification. The 19 represents 1A and 9I. So when you say AI, it means artificial intelligence. So what they're trying to do is replace your intelligence with artificial intelligence that's going to be controlled, which is why they have all those slots on your vaccine card. You know what I'm saying? So they want to get you nanoed up enough. You know what I'm saying? So they can control your brain. Pretty much they're creating the matrix right in front of us through the medical policies. So what we have to do is fight those medical policies by the things that we're doing, the conversations that we're having, the songs that we're doing, and even actually the movements. There was actually a protest earlier in City Hall, and it was actually scientists that were protesting the policies that Boston had put for vaccines. You know what I'm saying? So because they know that to cure any disease, you take natural remedies, you take, you know, natural herbs. They know this, but they're ignoring it for this vaccine for COVID-19. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they do all of these things, now it's like, oh, so people like me, they try to shut down. All right, people like even the fact that we're having these conversations, they try to shut that down as far as the public seeing it, right? But that doesn't shut me down because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is what they try to do is they try to shut those doctors down because most people ain't gonna listen to a rapper that has a, you know, a Wu-Tang shirt on and a hat with a pharaoh on it. They're gonna listen to a doctor though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if we start connecting with those doctors, start connecting with those nurses that actually are on the field, and we sit there like, no, we're not going to do this, because the thing is, the best way to change a system of things is to ban it and create your own. But you have to have enough people.
Our rights.
Huh?
What about our rights? Like, I feel like they're stripping our rights from us when
Yeah,
it's
because
our right.
they're stripping their rights because a lot of people don't know that you can actually protect your rights by changing what you do in the government. You can, like, so for instance, there's a part in the Articles of Confederation, I think it's paragraph, I forgot the paragraph, but it says if a government gets too dangerous, I'm paraphrasing, but if a government gets too dangerous, then you have to be able, you can literally ban the government and change it for the peace and safety of and happiness of your people. That's actually in the Constitution. So therefore, there was a politician that actually wanted to suspend the Constitution for COVID, and I was like, no, you don't let them do that, because if they do that, right, then you won't have your rights is gone once that Constitution is destroyed. So now we have to start really being like, listen, you're not gonna fight, you're not gonna take away our constitutional rights. Your constitutional right is your personal choice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Biden said, right, it is not about your personal choice, it's about the safety of Americans. So he's part of the whole agenda. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, Trump was part of it as well when he signed in 2019. If you listen to all right, everybody who's watching this interview right now, if you go on my song on I Am Hip Hop, the album, you'll see a song. It's track number 8, where it says Plandemic. It's me and my wife, Osa the Moore, on the song. And it says in the beginning that I sampled an interviewer that was saying that HR 748, he was talking about HR 748. HR 748 is the CARES Act. The CARES Act is money given to the people during a coronavirus crisis. It's coronavirus aid and relief something system. You know what I'm saying? And it's economic. So COVID is pretty much, CARE is coronavirus aid and relief economic security. All right. They signed that in January of 2019. COVID didn't start spreading until November of 2019 in China. It didn't hit America until January 26, 2020. He signed the last form of the paper in March 2020, 2020, which is when we had the supreme shutdowns for 3 months.
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah.
So these are things, anybody was watching this, you go on that song. I'm not looking for any, like, you can, it's not from your stream. Streams are very little. You get like point cents for a stream anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care about streams for that. I'd rather sell a CD for $10. But if you look at that song and listen to what they said in the beginning, he talks about the HR 748. Look it up yourself. HR 748. It's the CARES Act. The CARES was signed before coronavirus came to America, which means they already knew what they were doing, right? And when they came to America, they knew that they was going to shut down for 3 months. They knew that they was going to reopen in June. They knew that they was going to open up in these phases in different states. Some states didn't agree. Some states did. You know what I'm saying? And then they knew that they was going to put the vaccine out in December, which Trump did before he got boosted out in January, right? And then they knew that Biden was going to go full scale with vaccines. That was his purpose in the whole first place. You know what I'm saying? So he says on a State of the Union address like probably like 4 months ago. He says, what do you say? It's not about your personal choice. It's about the protection of Americans. But we know, coming from different spots, you know, you come from Cambridge, but you're from Boston, right? I'm coming from Boston. I'm from the hood in Boston as well, right? They didn't care about the average American that's making this country great, which is me, you, and other entrepreneurs and all that. They never cared about you being an entrepreneur. Matter of fact, you're a woman, so therefore you're a minority to them, right?
Right.
Just like me,
Yeah.
I'm black, I'm a minority to them, right? And all of these things. So they never cared about the minorities for me to say protect Americans. No, I'm willing to protect anybody that's in danger, but don't use that as an excuse like, oh, if I don't get vaccinated, I'm not protecting Americans. When have you ever protected me? When have you ever protected women? When have you ever protected our children? And when have you ever protected our schools from school shootings, like in Connecticut, like in Columbine, you know what I'm saying? Like in certain hood schools. When have you ever protected us? Never. So why should we care about that? That's a lie. What they're doing is making you feel bad. If you don't get the vaccine, then you're being selfish. Well, let me be selfish, because I need to know that this is the right thing for me to do. Just like you need to know that this is the right thing for you. And if it's not, no, I'm gonna be over here. And anybody who has the same like mind, we need to start formulating plans, whether you black, white, Asian, yellow, green, animal, whatever, you know what I'm saying? To separate from that form of government, because they are, you're right, they are trying to take away your rights. They've been doing it ever since 2019 when they signed that paper back in January. That was January of 2019. So how did they know that COVID, when they signed the CARES Act, and this is documented, HR 748 signed January 26th, right? That was exactly a year before Kobe died. Kobe died in January 26, 2020. You see what I'm saying? So these are things that when you pay attention, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to think about it.
Yeah.
Kobe is Hebrew. The word Hebrew, Kobe, is Hebrew for COVID. You know what I'm saying? If you break down the Hebrew words. So they knew what they was doing. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. Just kick
It's
some
crazy.
knowledge. See, I'm telling you, he's the brain right here.
So that's just a little bit though. I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's crazy. That, like, salute, definitely. That's like me, because if I got the shot, right, my doctor's trying to scare the crap out of me when I went to. She brought that shot in there. My body produces blood clot. Look at Johnson and Johnson. They had the recall on friggin' for you giving blood clots. Imagine if I took that shot, I could have been dead from that shot. My body produces already blood clots.
Yeah, because it's population control. So if they kill you with that, so they also signed. So a lot of people don't know the medical field also signed a clearance, and this is during Obama's era, where they signed medical clearances. So if something happens to you taking an experimental drug, which is why they try to make you sign a waiver. If you don't sign a waiver, you can't get that shot, because if you do it outside of that waiver, then you can sue for millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So if they gave you that shot and you died from it, there would be no repercussion, because they would make you sign a waiver first. And what they try to do is trick you into signing the waiver by having a witness nurse and then somebody else, and have two signatures. And that means that if you sign the second one, that means you definitely know what you're doing. They try to do this to many different people I know, and they try to trick them into signing this thing. So if this thing was so safe, right? I just want to ask this. If this was so safe, right? Why go through the aggression of scaring somebody or trying to trick somebody into taking it? It really isn't safe. They know that. So a lot of people that took it, right? Some of these people have been fooled. These are good people that they're taking out. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the people that died from it had pre-existing conditions that this enhanced. And then before the vaccine, there was incubating people. And my mother used to work in the hospital, and she said, if you incubate somebody, even if they don't have COVID, you can kill them because it produces water in their lungs. You see what I'm saying? So, water in lungs that's, for us, we would drown in our own fluids. You know what I mean? So these are things that they're not telling us. But see, me, the reason why I have all this knowledge is because I'm always researching, not just for myself and my family. I'm researching for the people. I want the people to know. So when it's time to stand up, we all stand up knowing the same thing, That's why I do the
Right.
music I do. Like I can easily do the crazy trap music and all that. And I don't knock them for doing it. Get your money, get out the hood, raise your families, do what you got to do, get your cars, your house, everything, right? But I have a different mission with music. So for me, that's why I stayed independent as long as I have, because I'm like, yo, I got to push a message to the people that want to hear truth. And as I get older, it becomes more intense. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be more impactful with the truth. So just like how we're conversing right now, there should be thousands of people on the live listening and getting that information so they can take it to their children and their families so they can fight back from the system. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm about. I'm the man that fights the system through hip hop music. And everybody that wants to help me get there, I'm with you. If you don't want to help me get there, that's fine too. But we're gonna run in right over you and step on the devil's neck. That's where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my whole
Fact,
purpose.
fact.
You know what I mean? You know?
I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you. Salute. Salute, Miss BK. I've been seeing you. I'm listening to him. I'm seeing all your. She was commenting a lot, so you can go back and check it out. She's right. What she was saying too. So salute to everyone. I appreciate everyone that tried to.
I'll definitely send that to her tonight.
Okay.
I will. If you can send me a friend's request, or I'll do it for you. You know, or somebody link me, then I'll send her all the information that she would need.
Yeah, go on here where her name is Brenda. She's the only Brenda on here, and you'll see all the comments. She says all the Wu-Tang stuff in the beginning, and request her. That's all you have to do, and then you guys can link with each other.
Okay, cool.
Okay. She's been on here the whole time. Salute to you, Queen. Happy Wednesday to everybody. God bless everyone. Stay healthy. Yes, sir. Wu-Tang forever, baby. They're not going nowhere. Salute, salute, salute. I appreciate you coming on here. And like I said, come on anytime you want to. You're always kicking some type of knowledge. That's what I love about your interviews. So I appreciate you, King. Much love and respect. And stay healthy with you and your family.
Keep doing what you're doing, too. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Much love and respect. It's your girl, G Girl. I appreciate everyone that tuned into this Iccy Show. If you want to be a guest on my Iccy Show, inbox your girl, Jackie Brown with 2 C's, I.E. Brown. Make sure you link with this gentleman. He'll put all the his podcasts on the bottom too. When we end this, he's gonna put in the comments. Make sure you go support his music. Make sure you book him for your next show if you have any shows going on. And make sure you link with me tomorrow at 6 p.m. I have Sonny from Ohio. He was on the Iccy Show last summer. I flew him up here from Ohio, so he'll be on here tomorrow. He has songs with Glass Malone, so make sure you pay attention to what he got to say. And tune in at 12 p.m. tomorrow with the Iccy Show episode 7, cooking with a lazy lasagna, but it's so delicious. You're gonna make it. It's fast, it's easy, and it's not that expensive to make. So it's cheaper to make this than the regular lasagna. So tune in tomorrow. A lot of great things for 2022 is a big year for us. So let's get it. Salute. Much love and respect to you, King. Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Peace. Peace.